Hello and welcome to another weekly vlog with my makeup-free face that scares people. So let me catch you up. This candle will not sit up straight in this candlestick. Let's do my head. So I left you on Sunday, going to be going into my mum's, and I told you I'd let you see the chair. Well, I didn't film it because when we got in, one of the carers had been and fucked with the back of it and it was completely wrong. Try as we may, I had pliers to it, I had spanners to it, I had a socket set to it. Whatever they've done has fucked it. So we called today, the OT. Also, there's a thing at the bottom, a foot plate, which is meant to like push in and stay in, so that when someone needs to get close to the chair, like in the case of my dad needing to get her out in an emergency, like a toilet emergency, but he can't get close to the chair, so he's trying to lift her, stood like way back, and he can't do it, it's doing his back in. Or when I try to get her out to put her in a wheelchair, obviously we can't hoist her as it's a two-person job, but we need to be able to do it. And this foot plate wouldn't go out of the way. Now thankfully last week when me and Darren were in, Darren overheard the two of them. He was sat beside them having a conversation about the fact the foot plate was faulty and it should stay in and it wasn't staying in. But when he called today about that, now she said, any issues whatsoever, call us. He called today. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with the foot plate. And Darren's like, Geraldine, that's her name. I was sat beside the two of you when you were discussing the fact that it was faulty and it should stay in it. Nothing wrong with it, and she shouldn't be being hoisted. And he says, look, I've explained to you there's some emergency situations, you know, it's basically the chair's faulty. She went out today, she looked at it, she poked with it, she left. I don't know the ins and outs, I'll have to speak to my dad tomorrow because he can't hear me that well over the phone. But she's going to send someone else out to look at it. They're looking at potentially putting tracks in the ceiling, in the sitting room, for hoisting my mum in and out of bed, and then they're going to like push the chair in and out from the living room to the sitting room. It's going to be a complete ball ache. Her catheter is leaking. We phoned about that. The district nurse said if she's been constipated, that's what it is. I know this is TMI, wait. You think that's TMI, wait to hear what's coming. So when I went in, she was in a lot of discomfort with her stomach. She hadn't been to the toilet in days. She kept asking my dad to take her to the toilet. He says, I can't. She was getting really angry at both of us and saying we were being nasty to her. So me and my dad took her to the toilet with great difficulty. She didn't do anything. Then she started the same thing later. But she was like, oh, and it's like, so we took her again. The carers came 5 minutes after we'd put her in the commode. And they basically says, look, she hasn't been in days. She needs to go. You need to go and get her some, what's them things that you put up your bum? Suppositories, right. The story which follows is gross. If you don't want to hear it, I will put a timestamp in. It's to do with poo and it is fucking gross, okay? So Darren went to Boots and picked up some suppositories. My dad's like, I'm not doing it, so da-da, step forward. So I went and got some gloves and did the needful. And because we couldn't have her lie in bed or sit back in her chair, because when they would start to work, we wouldn't be able to get her to the toilet quickly enough, so she had to stay where she was. So then obviously she pushed it back out again. So I put another one up and she pushed that back out again. I was like, fucking hell. But then something started happening. Now, this is where the really, really, really gross thing happened. So my mum, because of her illness and because of muscle wastage, and she doesn't have proper internal muscle, couldn't go. But what she had was stuck right there, and she couldn't pass it, and she was in absolute agony with it because she couldn't pass it. So I had to manually clear it. There's no other way to put it. She was in absolute excruciating agony and she could not pass this. She couldn't keep up. It was right there. It was like she was crowning. That's the way I'll put it. And half of the head was out. I know this is absolutely gross. But when I had cleared a bit, what came out, I have never in my life seen the like of that. It wasn't like King Kong's finger. It was like King Krong's big brother's dad's granddad's finger. It was massive. And there was so much of it. So much. It's like, fucking hell. And I'm like, fuck. And I'm trying to get rid of it. And I've taken the little bucket from below the seat in the commode. And I'm trying to clean this bucket. And a load more comes out all over the floor because at that stage it wasn't hard. So I've that to clean. We're supposed to be going home at Sunday night to have tea. This is going on at like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. So it was a traumatic experience for everyone involved. So I can add that to my CV now. I thought to myself, if Bobby Brown can do it for Whitney Houston, I can do it for my mum. So we managed to sort it. She's no longer constipated, but I have never seen anything like that in my life. I said to her, don't tell me I never do anything for you. So she got that sorted. So I'm in tomorrow to see how she is. Take her out downtown, do a bit more Christmas shopping. I've been working through Scout statements. I'm back. I've done 2024 to 25, 2023 to 24, 2022 to 23. So now I have the 2 previous financial years of that to go through. Isaac is at a different district scout thing tomorrow night with a volleyball team, so they're doing that tomorrow night. They don't have scouts on Friday because they have a 10-kilometre hike on Saturday. He doesn't know it's that long, I'm not telling him. So yeah, we shall see. I'll check in with you tomorrow on my way in the car, if there's anything that I've left out, but Jesus wept. Never have I seen anything like that. And I thought to myself, what am I going to do? I can't leave her like this. It's there, but she can't get it out. What am I going to do? And I had no option. But fucking hell. So anyway, it's funny. It's not funny and it's funny at the same time. Right, I have a big cup of Ribena with honey waiting on me in the bedroom. I have a really, really sore throat. My sinus is congested. I've been coughing like crazy. I don't know, I'm at that stage where I don't know if I'm getting better or it's about to crash worse because I feel up and down all day. So yeah, I shall, that's that fuckwit coming in and coughing and right in my face. So I shall speak to you guys tomorrow. Hello guys, it is Tuesday. Let's see if we clunk. No clunk. I'm on the way into my mum's. I've just got in the car and flash up, petrol required. Why does this always happen to me? So, go and get petrol. I don't think there's anything really to tell you. My Scout shirt arrived today. DHL just left it on the doorstep. I had a message saying, delivery received and accepted by Lisa. I'm like, I'm sorry. And I had like vestiges of it being at the wrong place. But it was on the doorstep. So I've got that. It's a bit big. The thing is, the one that was a better size was like 1 centimetre out around the bust, and that women know the last thing you want when you have a button-up shirt is a gape there at the bust. Oh, there's my bag over. So I got the bigger one, and it's way too big at the neck, and it's quite big, like under the oh god, under the arms and stuff. My throat is so sore. I tried the thing. I knew the minute that cleaner coughed in my face that I would catch it, and we've got it. Right, I'm going to switch you off guys because I have to go in and get petrol. Switch you back on when I come out. Right, just pulling out. The guy that was blocking off the petrol pumps just decided they had to drive off in front of me. Oh dear. As a fibrous car. We're switching to fibrous broadband next week, I think it is. I think so. Or is it this week? I can't flip. No, it's this week. It might be Thursday of this week. It's Tuesday today. Our internet was down all day Saturday, all day Sunday, both nights. Came back up on Monday. What a nightmare. Not so much the online side of things because we've got mobile data and you know you don't need to go online as long as you've got it to check things. But our TV is through the Fire Stick because we've got one of those well, downstairs we've got like one of the Amazon smart TVs, and upstairs we've got, Isaac's got a Fire Stick and our bedroom's got a Fire Stick, so all TV is internet, and we had no internet, so there was no TV all weekend, which I wasn't massively bothered about, but I was really annoyed to miss I'm a Celebrity, I have to admit. Caught up on it last night. I just watched the two I missed and then last night while I was doing my statements. So the Christmas jumpers have started. Yes, it is only November, but it's 26th. We're close enough. This isn't overtly Christmas, this is robins, and robins are out in the winter, so that's my excuse. I get more Christmassy jumpers the closer I get to Christmas. These are seasonal jumpers. Isaac has a dodgeball tournament tonight for Scouts at a place called Killymuris. It's another scouting hall, so I have to take him into that. Yeah, Darren's gonna take him in tonight because the leader's actually taking them all up on the minibus. I thought that we'd have to take them up there and I was gonna stay, but I feel fucking shit. I'm only going into my mum's because I have to, because she like gets really down if she doesn't get her Tuesday out, but I no more feel like doing anything else. I feel like shit. I see everywhere I drive there's smoke coming out of chimneys, everybody's got their fire on. We've had our fire on a couple of days last week, it's not on today. It went down to like -1, -2 last week. Bloody freezing. Today it is 5 Celsius. So I am behind. I think there's 3 vlogs still to edit before this week. Or 2. I think there's 3. Yeah, there's 3 vlogs I haven't edited yet. Any spare time that I've had has been spent doing up revision notes for Isaac or going through bank statements, so I can't get a spare minute or phoning bloody OTs or nurses. I shall catch you guys later.
Oh, so close.
Hello, it is Friday. I've got my robins on. We're going into town because it's Black Friday to see if we can pick up a few Christmas bits. I'm going to try and get my dad a pair of shoes today. Just a few little bits I need to get, some new tomato sauce. I just need random things. Isaac is in town. I'm going to talk to you before I drive so it's not as loud. Isaac is in town with Daniel and Callum for Daniel's birthday. He just wants to go around town, basically.
Right.
It was made very clear in the text that was sent to me, parent free. Well, the problem is I need to go into town. So Daniel is probably going to be really annoyed if he sees us. It's not like we're with them, but I mean, I can't stay out of town when I need to actually get things. So we'll probably end up in the same shopping centre because I need to, and they'll probably be in Game, and we're going in. Game is attached to, is it Sports Direct?
Yeah.
And my dad, they sell the soft shoes in there that my dad is like sore feet. So yeah. Loads
it's
of
worth looking for Alice as well in Game.
In Game?
Yeah, they have that nice little section.
Well, I was going to go to Smith's.
Do both.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just, it's broke my concentration now. I've just spent the morning doing banking stuff. I was up really early because he said he was going to phone me this morning, and he phoned me 1:30, and what he told me, he could have told me in a text message, which was, we're so behind on the badges, the ones that you've enveloped up for me. I need to sit down and go through it and update it properly. There'll be like badges they need for nights away, and this, basically they're like years behind, so there's no point in giving them the badges that I've done for them, because it could well be that they need updating multiple times. So until that's done, then I can't do anything. You could have told me that in a text or an email, but yeah, I've been doing that. I haven't quite finished it yet, but almost. I find that it's easier to just do everything to do with the banking for all 4 sections, because if you don't, someone asks you a question that's like, well, nobody asked me to do that, so you're better if you do it and you have it if you're asked a flipping question. But it's helpful when people pay something and it doesn't have the payee name on it, and the reference is pantomime tickets. 3 different people did that, and it's like, well, for who? We're taking
no, they didn't.
all the beavers. Oh yes, they did. All the scouts and all the cubs, and we're supposed to know who the hell that is. So we don't know who's paid and who hasn't. Not that anybody ever chases it. Another, what, about 10 payments came in for the yearly subs. We're getting there. There's only 1 scout that hasn't paid, 6 explorers, 4 beavers and 4 cubs, which is a hell of a lot better than previous years. So I'm not going to go into the massive palaver of the past few days that we've had, mainly Darren's had, about catheters, and it would turn your hair grey if you heard it, and if you heard the inane things people have been saying. My mum's catheter's been leaking for days. I can't, because if I start, I'm going to be talking about it for half an hour.
No, don't, because I'll get started on just...
But you just, I can't even tell you the amount of, like I keep saying, can you imagine if you were a person that didn't like to complain, that wasn't someone... I'm not a fan of speaking on the phone. If I have to do it, I will do it. I'm not like my dad that just won't do it. I will do it if I need to, but Darren doesn't, it doesn't even, he doesn't pay a mind about it. He doesn't care. He'll do it. I'm like, oh god, I really have to do this. I really don't want to do this, and I'll get anxious leading up to having to do it and all sorts. I just don't like speaking on the phone. But the amount of people he was on the phone with yesterday to try and get a catheter for my mum, I'll tell you very quickly. I'm not going to tell you all the ins and outs. So we phoned on Monday to say the catheter was leaking. They said, has she been constipated? We said, yes, she has. They said, leave it a few days, that can happen, it could settle down. I went into my mum's on Tuesday. She was having a lot of pain. I sorted out calling the doctors to get antibiotics sent down. They were to be collected on Wednesday. Then we got a call yesterday, which was Thursday, from the district nurse to say, the carers have just called me and said that the catheter's leaking. And Darren says, yes, I reported
the night before.
They reported it on the Wednesday. Darren says, yeah, we called you about that on Monday and you said to give it a few days and it should settle down. Oh, well, the carers have called. Can you find out if it's still leaking? Darren says, if it was leaking over the weekend and on Monday and last night, it's going to be leaking this morning. Well, I can't come out until someone tells me if it's leaking. So obviously nobody answered the phone. What happened is somebody had left the phone in the other room and nobody had heard it. That's why nobody was answering the phone. They couldn't get through to my parents. We couldn't get through to my parents. We phoned the carers' head office. The carers all have mobiles. Can you call the carers and ask them if the catheter was still leaking this morning? Because my brain's whirring. My brain's going, right, we need to find out if it's leaking. We need to get back to her to tell her if it's leaking. Then the palaver will be trying to get a catheter. So I'm trying to get this sorted really quick. They didn't call back. Hour and a half went by, nothing. I'm like, the carers have mobiles. It's one phone call. It takes 30 seconds. Darren phone again. Eventually we got an answer. Yes, the catheter is still leaking. Meanwhile, we found out that the district nurse had gone out to my mum right after the carers had been, changed the bed, changed her clothes. Well, I don't know why you're phoning me. This Kathleen's dry. It's not leaking. Darren says the carers have just been and sorted everything out. It's been leaking. I've just had the carer head office on the phone to tell me, yes,
by about 10 minutes.
It's still leaking. Right, okay, well, you're going to have to get me a catheter then, and then call me back when you've got it. Q phoning the doctor. What brand is it? There's 3 on here. I don't know. I don't live in the house. The packaging would have been thrown out by the district nurse that fitted it. Can you not look at the last one that was sent out by prescription? We've only ever had one. No, you'll have to tell me what one it is. That went back and forth for 10 minutes. Eventually, with Darren's sternness, they found out which one it was. Right, we'll maybe get that done in the next 3 or 4 hours. Darren says, no, this is, the district nurse is waiting on this to do it today. She's in pain, she needs this changing. I need this done in the next hour, and I'm going to come in and collect it. Oh, well, I don't know, I'll see what I can do. Phone me back in an hour. Phone back in just over an hour. It was ready to collect. There was another palaver about that, but I'll not even go into it.
Ridiculous. Don't just ignore
but, he goes in, he collects it. I've done a list of chemists, because I'm preempting nobody's going to have this fucking catheter. I've done a list of chemists. He sits and phones every chemist in our town Not one flipping chemist. One said they had it. He went all the way to the arse end of Ballymena to get it. Oh, sorry, it's out of date. No other chemist had one. Oh, well, we can order you one. We're thinking we need it now. There's no way to get it. So, upshot is, he had to order it from the chemist to be delivered, which will take a few days, for us then to be able to get the district nurse. We're thinking, is there anything we can do in the meantime? Darren phones the district nurse. Oh, I'm sorry, the secretary that answers the phone for the district nurse is on annual leave. He's like, what? But I need to speak to her. She's waiting on me. Oh, well, there's nobody answering the phone.
I said, I've not got any cover height.
You're in the same building. Can you not? No, it's a completely different office. We can't go there. He says, so you're telling me you've let a district nurse's person go on leave with no cover to answer the phones? Well, yes. So we couldn't contact the district nurse to say, look, this is what's happening. What are we going to do? And then, Darren, how did you end up getting to speak to her? I never asked that.
And they had a different number.
All right, okay. So you have to be Sherlock Holmes, and he spoke to her, and she says, oh, well, I've just found out that she has an infection. Now, she might not have an infection. It might be that she's sore because the catheter is not properly sighted.
The catheter could be causing the infection.
It could be that we have to wait till she's finished the antibiotics to see if that sorts things, and if that doesn't, then we'll change the catheter. Darren, yesterday, no word of a lie, hours from like 10 o'clock in the morning right through to tea time, he was having...
She says, oh, well, we don't need it today.
And it's like, not one person can do naffle.
Oh.
He phoned to speak to the OT about my mum's chair. She wouldn't answer the phone to him again for the second day in a row. I'm going out to see her today at 1:30. She went out, looked at it, couldn't do anything with it. Oh, well, I'll have to get an engineer out. It's like, can you do ours all? The hoist's wrong, the hoist's wrong, the sling's wrong, the chair's now wrong.
Can I just quote her when she argued
the catheter we can't get sorted.
How do I know that it's faulty? When I said, yeah, I sat there while you told Joy it was faulty because you couldn't fix it. It was faulty. You said it yourself.
Yeah, she wanted to lie. What she forgot was Darren was actually sat there when they were discussing it being faulty. That's why we want it to be there. You hear that?
Cold.
So, sorry, I wasn't going to tell you what I've told you. How long have I been waffling on?
That's 10 minutes. That's a cut down version.
That is a cut down version, but it went on for hours.
Well, I got back about, 5 o'clock?
It's just a complete nightmare. Everywhere you come up against idiots that don't want to do their job. And, you mate, fucking hell.
Yep. If we'd have been a kid, then we'd be squashed. Wrong side of the road, speeding.
Somebody coming into the cul-de-sac as we're coming out, speeding on not on their side of the road. It's incompetence, and you wouldn't think in that sort of environment that, in the care sector, that you would be able to have. Then again, I know people that have worked in the care sector. Some of the stories that Becky told me when she worked, it's like, you would not believe what people are having to tolerate in care homes and stuff, in hospitals, and it's all bureaucracy, and it's all targets, and it's all, people from above that aren't on the ground saying you have to do X, Y, Z. It's horrible. It's a really shitty day if you can hear the rain.
People swanning about like
but I don't think that we're the most intelligent people in the world. Neither do I think we're stupid. I wouldn't have thought that either of us was anywhere near as qualified and astute and switched on as a social worker or an occupational therapist. But these people are fucking stupid.
Not done anything for you without me shouting at them.
Either I'm Einstein, or I have severe concerns about the quality of intelligence of education within the care sector, because it's not just people say, oh well, they're lazy. That's not that they're stupid. It is that they're stupid, because when you try and speak common sense to them, they can't understand you. They don't understand. Like if you're having a conversation and a really obvious question occurs to you. Example, she came out, I'm just using my dad as an example, this is the only one that comes to my mind at the minute. She came out to look at the chair, the back of it was wrong, the foot plate was wrong. She said, oh well, I don't know what we're going to do about that foot plate. I haven't got the key with me today. No. And then she was talking about something else and getting ready to leave. To me, it's common sense for a person to say, right, well, what's going to happen with it? What's next? You know, a question from a situation which is blatantly obvious. No question was asked. That's the sort of thing I mean. Now, okay, that was my dad, but that's the sort of way they also behave. They don't they don't preempt anything. They don't ask anything. They don't tell you what they're going to do to solve the problem. They don't listen when you're telling them something. All they ever want to do is deny accountability, pass the buck to someone else, and do nothing about nothing. And when challenged, they just quote following the process. It's like there's just no thinking. There's no grey matter there whatsoever. It's like, honest to God, what does it take to get people that actually A, want to do their job, B, take accountability when they fuck up, and C, have a brain in their head? None of the above. So anyway, right, I'll stop whinging. So we're going in to see what we can find in the Black Friday sale today. Isaac's off school, that's why he's in. They're meant to be on a bloody revision day. He's swanning off in round town. Well, Daniel, a bit irresponsible of Daniel's parents to plan his birthday do on a revision day. We'll not even start with that. So I'll switch you off. I'll let you know at some stage if I manage to pick anything up. And I'll check in with you later in the week. I can't think of anything that's had. Something started at the cinema, I can't remember. Oh, that one about all the people in Rome. It's got a big word as the title. And there's something else which I can't remember. Oh, Moana 2 has started. I don't think Isaac will want to see that, will he? But they liked the little bird in the first one. We'll find out. Chicken, yeah, it's not, you're not allowed, not chicken Kiev now, it's chicken Kiev. Got some chicken Kievs for tea. Right, I'm gonna go. I shall check in with you guys later in the week. Hello, we're back. It never rains, but it pours, guys. So, I've just had 2 WhatsApp telephone calls. One from my aunt, my uncle's wife, and one from a different uncle. 2 of my dad's different brothers, telling me that my dad was in the BT club today. He's shuffling about, not able to walk properly, holding his head, seems really confused and doesn't know where he is, isn't right at all, and someone's had to take him home. So this is, it's not drink, he hasn't been drinking, blah blah blah. So I eventually get him on the phone, and I can tell immediately he's pissed. Or well, he says he's had 4 pints, but if you're skinny as my dad and haven't eaten and have 4 pints, you can be pissed. Darren's just gone in because I have to be at home because Isaac's not back yet and someone needs to be here when he gets back to let him in and stuff. I'm not going to the hospital. His family are all phoning me, telling me he needs looking at. He's shouting and arguing that he's not going to be looked at. My mum's in the background shouting and ranting. His mate's in the background saying, there's something wrong, Cahill, you need to be looked at. Since they had that fall on holiday, he says his head's just got sorer and sorer and sorer. So obviously he needs looking at. But my dad, because of the length of time you have to wait in A&E, he's like, he doesn't want to, he's got severe social anxiety and he doesn't want to sit for hours in A&E. And I said, well, everyone has to do. I'm not going up there to sit for hours. It's like, so he'd rather drop dead than go up to A&E. Darren's going in to try and talk him into it. I know he'll say no. Darren will end up coming back home and then I'll have to sit and worry about that. The only thing then we can do is get him booked into the doctors on Monday and physically take him down in. But he'll fight us every step of the way and make out like we're being a complete pain in the arse trying to do it. Meanwhile, how's my mum supposed to be looked after? This is what he does. And like, I'll be keeping her at home. And then he doesn't look after his own health. He doesn't make sure he's up to it. Stuff keeps happening. And then I get fucking dropped right back in it to do a job I'm not physically capable of doing. Isaac's got exams all week. There's loads happening. I'm so fucked off. I'm not even going to talk about anything I bought today, but I never record as things are happening. I always tell you as an after effect, so I thought I'm actually writing Christmas cards. That's what I was doing. I thought I'll do something nice sitting here with a bit of time to myself. Before Isaac gets back, I'll write my Christmas cards, and then I get those phone calls. It's like, can I not get a fucking break? It's like, he says it was not my fault. I said, nobody's saying what's wrong is your fault, but it's your fault that you won't go and get it fucking looked at. It's like anyone else, anything like this, they would go to the doctors, go to the hospital. He just point blankly refuses no matter what's wrong with him. And I've had it, I don't know, but the problem is, people will be like, right, well, leave him to it then. If something happens, something happens. But the problem is, there's my mum in there that will bust a fucking gut if anything happens to him. And then everything falls to me. And I know, as much as Darren has done everything that he's done and as supportive and stuff as he is, I know Darren does not want us to step into my dad's shoes, and because it's so all encompassing, and it's you have no life, it's 24/7, it's a thankless task, it's really difficult, hard work, and my mum expects things that people can't physically do, and then she gets angry and gives off if you can't do it. And anything happens to my dad, and basically I'm thrown straight into it. And it's just going to be almost impossible to fucking cope with, isn't it? But all because he won't go to a doctor or go to a hospital when he needs to. Why is it suddenly, because the TV switched onto screensaver and it's bright and snowy. That's why I've lit up all of a sudden. So, yeah. Damn you, Lisa, for writing your Christmas cards and trying to be cheery about things. Last time I was feeling Christmassy and I put the tree up. What was it happened? Oh, my mum ended up in hospital, didn't she? And now this time I've started writing my Christmas cards. I've got these phone calls about my dad. It's like, I'd just be as well not doing anything to do with Christmas. I'm not allowed to ever. I'm just fed up. I'll update you guys later on, but that's what's happening right now. Hello, it is 11:05, several hours after I last spoke to you. They did a scan on my dad and he has got a bleed on the brain from when he had that accident in Spain. It looks like he didn't have a scan. He lied and told me that he had, that it was fine. Hours ago, the doctor said he was going to speak to a specialist from Belfast to find out whether he needed an operation or whether they were going to see if it would resolve on its own. But given that it's been there for 8 weeks and it's getting worse and he has worsening symptoms, he couldn't work out how to move his legs and stuff, and the pain in his head where the bleed is. The bleed's actually up here, even though he banged here. I can't see them leaving it. So Darren's still there because my dad keeps threatening to leave, even though they've said to him, look, you're going to be in tonight regardless. Get yourself ready. But they're trying to find out if they're going to transfer him to Belfast tonight, or if they're keeping him where he is at the minute for now. I have no idea. Darren's still there because he's scared if he leaves, my dad will get a taxi and leave, because that's what he does. I have to get into my mum, but I've no way to get in. No taxis operate out here. The taxis in town don't answer the phone after 10:30. It's just a fucking mess. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going to go on. Regardless, my dad is not going to be up and about for a while. And that's the best case scenario. This could have killed him. Could still. The operation could. It's scary. And I have to go in and tell my mum this, and then try and cope with her over the next however long, which I don't know how I'm going to cope. I really don't, because there's so much stress and worry, and I know that, what is that? I'm sorry, there's a text, I don't know what it is, and I know that my mum will still be going on about how it affects her and how she is, and we've got these catheter issues, infection issues, district nurse issues, and now my dad's in hospital needing brain surgery. How much can one family take, guys? It's just, I've had it. I've had to cancel Isaac's hike with the Scouts tomorrow that I bought a ton of stuff for him for. Yeah, I'll update you as soon as I know more. I'm sat here with my bag packed, ready to go into my mum. But I can't until Darren gets home to take me in. It's like 12 miles away, so I shall speak to you guys later. Morning. Here I am at my mum's. I'm trying not to talk too loud because she's still in bed. I didn't sleep at all. Yesterday's makeup. I got here at about 2 a.m. It's now 9:15. I got up about 7. I just couldn't sleep. My mum has one of those airflow mattresses and it constantly makes noise all night long. It's really annoying. Just everything whizzing through my head. No decision, it looks like, made from the doctors yet. I'll be calling later. I know he's been moved onto a ward, so I'll be calling later. I think my mum wants to go up and see him. I have to go up anyway with some stuff for him. So we don't know if he's going to be transferred to Belfast for an operation or what's going on. Stressful. I feel so sick. I'll show you this chair now while I'm here. So this is the chair. There's a cushion in it there. Ignore that. So the foot plate is meant to push in and stay in, but it doesn't. Faulty. The middle part, so this part here, should be much further forward to hold my mum's head properly. What I'll do is when she's sitting in it, I'm going to take a picture because I want one anyway to have so you can see what I mean. But at the minute I'm just waiting on the carers coming. Hello guys. Eyes like piss holes in the snow. I'm aware I look like shit. I've had migraine loads of today and my eyes really hurt. I've been streaming, just struggling a bit today. It's Sunday. I've been here since the early hours of Saturday morning. It doesn't seem long, but boy, it feels like a lifetime. I've just taken my mum to bed. So hard work. It's just, I can't even. It's emotionally and mentally as draining as it is physically. It's so difficult. And carers are doing things like they've come and they've not put the night bag on her catheter, which I don't know how to change. Obviously they need a bigger bag at night in case there's more urine, and I've had to try and empty everything out of the day bag before she goes to bed and hope that it shouldn't. I've checked all the notes and they don't always write how much there is, and I'm so tired. My dad is having his operation tomorrow, Monday, hopefully. They're doing the drill hole in his skull and then putting a drain in. And they basically won't say because they don't know how he's going to be after, what the prognosis is, how he's going to be, how long he's going to be in hospital, how he's going to be affected. We don't know any of those things. At the minute for me, I'm looking at him getting through the operation. That's all I'm thinking about right now. And then when he's through it, hoping that he'll stay in the hospital as long as he has to until he's ready to be discharged. My dad does not want to wait anywhere. You can talk as much common sense to him as you want. He just won't listen. It's just really hard here, and my mum I must have told her easily 50 times today she was wearing a catheter. I need to go to the toilet. I need to go to the toilet. I said, you're wearing a catheter. Oh, but I feel like I need to pee. I says, pee, you're wearing a catheter. And it's went on and on and on, and my head's banging. I've got migraine. And I'm just trying to do everything and clean and wash, and Darren thankfully went and got me a few groceries today. But when I told my mum this morning the seriousness of my dad's situation and that he can't come out and be lifting, and I've tried to get home to her how serious it is, her response was, "Are you making me potatoes tonight?" And you can be talking about anything and she'll interrupt it with something like that. I'm frazzled. Isaac has his exams this week. I haven't been able to help him do anything. Just hope that the work I had done up to this point is enough. My eyes keep stinging like crazy, and I'm trying to stop getting upset because my mum keeps crying, and I don't want to just even go there at the minute. It's just have to hold myself together and just not think the worst. You know what I'm like for thinking the worst. Just hope. You know, the ideal situation is he gets through the surgery okay and he doesn't have really lasting physical impact from it, but we don't know. Look at the colour of my face. I'm so hot. This house is like an oven. My head's just start. I'm going to have to take a spray. I think I have a migraine coming again. That's why my eyes are stinging and streaming. It's fucking hard, guys. It's so difficult. I don't think people quite understand how hard it is. You know, people don't understand. Just as an example, I can't do anything. I can't watch a TV program. I can't look at something on my computer. I can't read something because my mum won't let me. She just is talking constantly all day, but not about anything. Just repeating herself and asking for things and repeating things I've told her 100 times, but you can't hear her, so you have to pause, mute the TV, so you just can't watch anything, you can't hear anything, there's just no time for yourself, any time of the day, until she's in bed. But now I'm so exhausted, because I've had to be up really early every morning before the carers come in, so that I'm not laying in bed when they come in, and I'm not used to having to do that, and I can't even tell you, I'm beyond exhausted. The physical impact this is having on me is tremendous, and it's only been 2 days. I told both my parents that if anything was to happen to my dad, I could not step in. I says, I'm not physically able to, and this is proving it. But my mum doesn't see it. She just expects whoever's there to get on with it and just do it. Darren's calling the social worker tomorrow because obviously all this has to kick off on a Friday evening, so there's no one to help. I've no siblings to help. My mum's got no friends to speak of to help. She's got no siblings to help. There's nobody to help, just me. And I don't know what way he's going to come out. She's going to think he's going to come out and everything's going to go back to normal, but I've told her I can't allow it to. We're going to try and see if we can get her a temporary placement. I'm hoping it's going to lead to a more permanent placement, because it's gone to the point now that my mum would rather let a person drive themselves to fucking death than admit that she needs more care. He has this brain bleed which has been exacerbated by doing something strenuous, which has been lifting my mum. Since she got this new chair, he's been really struggling to lift her. Really struggling. And now this has happened. It can like restart a brain bleed that you've had that has stopped. And the doctor has more said that have you been doing anything strenuous? So, and when this is fixed, if he comes out of it okay, he could kick it off again because it's an area of weakness. And my mum won't accept that could happen, or that she may be the cause of anything. She just is head in the ground time. And I don't know what to do anymore. I know the social workers are going to say, oh no, there's no need for any of that, but I can't cope anymore. I don't know what to do. I just cannot cope. It's like when you look at a person and they look perfectly well. So, what do you mean you don't cope? You're doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it, but it's fucking killing me. You know, what do you want to do to me before, have me lay on the floor unable to move before you'll believe that I can't do this? That's what's happened to my dad. He's had to go into hospital with a brain bleed before he'd accept. But he's not even accepting it. Darren was telling me that he kept trying to leave. He kept swearing at people. He was being really rude. But I don't know how much. But my dad's always been like that. Not the rude part, but, well, maybe sometimes. He doesn't understand that everybody's waiting, everybody's, you know, in a hospital, nobody likes it. He seemed like, if I'm not been seen, I'm leaving. And it's just, wind your fucking neck in, you know what I mean? Darren had to go around afterwards and apologise to the staff for my dad's attitude, and he kept trying to run off, he kept trying to leave, after he was told he had a brain bleed, and he says, a lot of nonsense, a lot of fuss about nothing, rubbish. And he wanted to leave from Antrim Hospital. He's now in the Royal in Belfast, which is further away, but I am terrified that once he's had the operation, he's going to try and get up and leave. And it's just pressure and stress from every angle. It's my dad being ill and needing this operation's bad enough. And that's what most people would have to deal with, a parent being in this position. And that fucking stresses. But I have a parent being in this position that hasn't the common sense to stay until they've been treated. A parent in this position who, when they get out, will not follow the instructions they've been given. That's if he gets out. And I have a parent that won't accept that they need more help than can be provided at home, and has just point blank said to me today, well, I don't want to go anywhere else. I really wanted to say, well, I don't want to be here, but I'm here. This isn't my idea of what I want for my life. I just literally... It's my birthday this week as well, that's great, isn't it? It's just difficult. You just feel like the bottom of the pecking order permanently. It's like nobody ever thinks, how does something affect you? How, you know, how's your health? How are you getting on? It's just everything is all encompassing. And it's... And the only time my mum's getting upset is when there's a discussion around her having to go into some form of care. She's not getting upset about the fact my dad's in hospital with a bleed in his brain, having surgery on his brain. That hasn't made her shed a tear, but her possibly going into respite for a little bit, that got her started. And I just feel like I could throttle her. It sounds awful, it sounds horrible, but I'm so angry sometimes. Darren thinks that she's got some form of dementia and that's what's making her like this, but my mum's always been very preoccupied because that's how she's always been, because nobody will say no. Her parents did everything they could for her, and both died because they didn't look after their own health, because my mum was in Funny Farm at the time, and now my dad is in the situation he's in because he's forcing himself to do something he can't do because she doesn't want to accept. She needs... Like all day today she's been complaining about her catheter all day. And I've told her we've worked for hours to try and get a district nurse out, and the district nurse has said, you need to finish your antibiotics to see if that resolves the issue, and if it doesn't, then we'll change it, because we really don't like to change it. It causes too much irritation. But all day. And when I say all day, I mean 50 plus times. And even if you pretend not to hear it, she'll go, Lisa, but you know, you just repeat yourself, and I'm just like, oh fuck. And I haven't been able to leave the house other than to go get some groceries in Tesco on Saturday. I've pretty much just been stuck here. I can't leave the house to do anything. I'm recording because I never record in the middle of anything. I always just catch you up after, but I'm trying to be better with that and do warts and all. Big red face and swollen eyes and all. But it's fucking hard, guys. It's fucking difficult. Just let's hope that my dad comes through this operation. Let's hope the operation goes ahead tomorrow. There's no cancellation. And that he's okay. I don't know what I'd do if I got a phone call that something horrible had happened. I've always said that I almost envy people that just get the news and hear that their parents, something's happened or they've passed, and all they have to cope with is grief and normal stuff. They don't have to worry about a dependent, extremely dependent, almost like... My mum's harder to look after than a baby is. Harder, because she's a full-grown adult, she's massive, she complains all day about everything. She gets angry at you when you don't do everything right away or properly. And it's just... if anything happens to my dad, my mum will lose her shit. And I don't know how I'm supposed to cope with everything on my own. I'm not thinking my dad's going to die, don't get me wrong, but obviously when something like this happens, you know, the thought crosses your mind, doesn't it? Brain surgery. Right, guys, I'm going to go to bed. It is only 11:30. This is ridiculous time for me to be going to bed, but I'm going to bed, so I have to be up fucking 7 o'clock. I shall keep you updated.